Hi everybody. Let's talk about standard elevator again for a few minutes. Again, this is the 1909 view when the canal was still there, dried up, not being used anymore. But this is the original mill that was probably built, I don't know, 1870s, 1880s, something like that. So I'm going to show you next the Sanborn map that is a good reference for how big this place actually was. So this is the 1909 Sanborn map. Something I didn't talk about the other day was these maps are to scale. So using this drawing, and I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but I can come close to telling how big this thing is. So the office building, or the old depot, is about 36 feet long, 24 feet wide down here. It's got this little porch on it. Yeah. The main building, main elevator, is 60 feet long this way and 30 feet wide this way. This where it says it has a gas engine, I guess that's to power all the machinery. It's also 30 feet wide and 16 feet, well, 30 feet deep, 16 feet wide, however you want to say it. Now this warehouse is 60 feet long. On this drawing, it looks like it's not quite 30 feet wide, but in a lot of the pictures that I'm going to show you, I can't really tell that it's any different than the rest of the building. So not sure if this is off a little bit. If it is narrower, it's only by a couple feet. So notice, it's 1909, none of the other stuff is on here that was added later, but this will provide me a good scale to build this, and then I can hopefully sort of scale the rest of it, judging by these buildings. So let me show you some other pictures that I've uncovered of this place. I think I showed you this picture in the last video, but what I wanted to point out was the section behind the elevator that looks like just, it said it had the gas and engine in it. On the Sanborn map, that shows up in red, which means it's a brick building. And none of the pictures ever look like that's brick. It looks the same as the rest of it. So I don't know if it has metal sheathing over it or whatever, but it's definitely not brick. So that's what I wanted to show you in this picture. Now in this picture, there's some close-ups of the depot end of it. And this picture is really interesting because it shows from a different angle, shows more of the modern stuff. So you can also see the old brewery in this picture, which unfortunately was torn down. What I wanted to point out was you can see the concrete silos with that interesting structure on top, which were built first. Then the three more modern silos, which were pretty tall. The Quonset hut is there, but the final big silo that's not quite as tall, but bigger diameter, is not there yet. This color picture was taken looking up from what used to be the river, is now the city park. I believe it was taken in the 50s, believe it or not, even though the color's really good. If you look at the vehicles in the picture up on the hill, it's definitely not a modern picture anyhow. You can see downtown Chillicothe. That's Water Street and corner of Paint there right now. So the railroad would have come in from this end. So here's some old trucks waiting to be unloaded. They're parked along Water Street. And yes, those are birds. So the corn was open. There's birds all over the corn, on the roof, on the ground, eating the corn before they could get unloaded. Pretty sad picture the day the elevator came down. This gives me a really good view of the concrete silos and back though, so it's probably the best view I have of those concrete silos anyhow. I guess that elevator put up quite a fight coming down. It was a lot harder than they thought it was going to be. For modeling purposes, I think the model can be broken up into three sections. The old original elevator, which is going to be a lot of board and batten. The middle, where the concrete elevator, concrete silos with the structure on top, and then the more modern silos on the end with the Quonset hut. So this is what I'm going to start with. A couple of things unique about this. Notice the lines on it. I don't think it's concrete block because the vertical lines are all in line. I don't know if it's just steel bands around it, or not. So it's not just a poured concrete silo is what it looks like to me. So I'm going to have to figure out some way to sort of duplicate that appearance. I think a good starting point would be the kit I'm going to show you. So I bought this kit, and I think the silos be a good place to start because there's 4 of them, 4 double rows. Looks like it'd be a good place. Plus, it's got that unloading shed, which I think there's something similar to that I might be able to kit bash and use too. So I'm going to start building this and work on this section of the building first, and I'll keep you posted on my progress. So let me just talk a little bit more about the Sanborn maps. First of all, if you're interested in them, you could search YouTube, just type in Sanborn maps. There's several people who have done videos on how to use them, how to locate. Actually, I haven't watched any of the videos. I'm just saying that you would learn more from them probably than you would from me. But my understanding is they donated the maps to the state university or biggest university in every state when this company went out of business. University of Kentucky has the ones for Kentucky. Ohio State University has ones for Ohio, for example. Now, you can find them online, but I went to University of Kentucky, this is probably 20 years ago, and they allow you to search their files, and they will make you up to 6 copies. And these things are big. These things for free. At the time, they were for free. So this is Salt Lick, Kentucky. Town still exists, but this is the Yale Lumber Company, 12 miles southeast of Salt Lick. This is a narrow gauge railroad, the Licking River Railroad. So this is all the railroad facilities, the track layout, the lumber mill, all this. So it's really some fascinating stuff if you model an era that's old enough to have this kind of stuff. A lot of times they'll put 2 things on the same map. So this is the Salt Lick Lumber Company. This is actually in the town of Salt Lick. So this is the C&O railroad switch here coming in to serve the lumber yard. And it's got all this information on it. So again, Sanborn maps are a great resource if you model something like, if you want to know how things were a long time ago. So I have one more thing to talk about, and then we'll end the video. So these plastic bins are all full of pictures that I took in the 80s and 90s. And then I got out of model railroading for a while. End up, getting divorced, packing everything away, and now that there's digital cameras, you can shoot 1 million photographs. None of these are great quality. I had a point and shoot 35 millimeter. My dad teased me one time because I was thinking about modeling the N&W. And one time I had a 34 car Coltrane and N scale N&W, and every car had different numbers on it. I decaled every car. I don't have cars with duplicate numbers on my railroad. I didn't back then either. But anyhow, a bunch of pictures. Now, a lot of times people have pictures like this and they die and the pictures get thrown away or get buried. And I mean, I love the pictures, but I'm the only one that can see them. So here's what I'm going to do. It's going to take me probably years to do it, but I'm going to start making videos, just slideshows of these pictures, just for people to use as reference. I don't think the pictures are worth any money. I certainly wouldn't sell them as a collection to somebody. But that way, if someone wants to see what the B&O or CSX looked like in the late 80s, they look at my pictures. And maybe not great pictures, but it'll be something. You see, I've got some logging pictures. I've got some museum pictures, things like that. Got, early Norfolk Southern, early CSX, DT&I. I'm only going to share pictures that I took, that I know I took. Sometimes friends would give me pictures, and I'm not going to put them on there. So anyhow, let me know in the comments what you think about this idea. Again, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to have to go to Mexico for 3 weeks in March in a row. And I could easily pack one of these totes with me, and just in my hotel room at night, just, make short videos and knock some of them out. But I just want to share the pictures with people who are interested in doing them, and rather than have me keel over someday and my wife just pitch them or give them to someone else who's just going to keep them in their basement, whatever. So let me know what you think about that idea, and I will probably start with the B&O or the C&O or DT9, something like that. If anyone has any strong feelings about something they want to see, if I get a lot of people say, I want to see the C&O, then I'll start with that, because I'm going to do them all eventually. All right, it's enough of me rambling. Everybody stay safe.